Drive your old car, support your local bands, and watch John Yao Media.
This car here is a 1941 Replica Willys Coupe Pro Street, built from the ground up with an Art Morrison chassis and a ANC body out of the east coast of this country, and it was built a while ago, and I've had it for a number of years. And this one has a 572 crate motor and turbo 400 transmission. The unique feature on this car would obviously be the paint, which is a House of Colors green with a gold pearl metallic overlay. And the car has been built for quite some time. I try to keep it as nice as I can, and it certainly would be nice to have a real Willys coupe, but unfortunately most of them are been drag raced and long gone. If you do have one, you've got something there. But most of your Willys, I would have to say 90% of them are probably replica kit cars. Most of them built from the ground up from various companies around the country.
Thanks for watching, and if you want to get a bang out of life, subscribe and share this video. It helps this little channel to grow when you share it. It really does. Go ahead, share it. I'll wait.
This is a 1935 International Harvester street rod pickup, custom built from ground up. Z-bar frame, double Z frame, 350 Chevy with a Model A, slanted Model A 1930 grill on it. And it's not a rat rod, but it's a step up above that. But I like to keep it in that theme. It's got kind of a rat rod interior. And we got the slicks on the back for the dry weather, but obviously we can't go anywhere in the rain. And the car was built for fun and for the street.
Does it drive pretty nice on the highway?
Drives very nice on the highway. And I would take it anywhere.
How long have you had this?
I've had this car for about 3 years.
Where did you find this, and what shape was it in?
Found it in Florida, and because I'm handicapped and disabled, I don't build the cars from the ground up anymore and do the majority of the work, so I pick them up in whatever shape they're in, then I finish the rest of them.
And you just find all the parts and then you give it to a body
Sure.
shop?
A lot of the parts can be ordered from catalogs and searching around. Obviously the 35 International body is a little harder to come by.
So what made you say you wanted to buy this car and work on it when you saw it?
I've been doing hot rods, street rods, and been around this world as far as the car world since I've been about 14 years old. The motor is not necessarily unique. It's got a single 4-barrel carburetor. I went with that route because all you see is dual quads anymore. And initially, you know, when they came out with the made these tunnel ram manifolds, a lot of them were single carburetors. And but the unique feature on this motor is the valve covers made by a company called Genie Shifter, probably in the late 60s, early 70s. This is a copy of a Camaro cover. The motor's a 350 Chevy, but it's not a Camaro motor. And the valve covers are unique and they're extremely rare.
Oh, that's just cool and really nicely done.
Thank you.
They look brand new.
It doesn't take all that long to do these cars. They're kind of simple, but each rodder wants to do a unique design with his car, and for the motor I chose these valve covers, and I don't think I've ever seen another set.
Just want to put it together and make it your own.
Right, something a little different than what everybody else has. And when people stop and look at the car, that is the key topic, is where I purchased these valve covers.
So during COVID, we put this bike together. So we made the frame, we used wheels off of a 100-year-old wagon, the tapered shaft in the back. Got some unique things on it like saxophone for the intake, clarinet for the shifting rod, saddle. Over here we have a box that was off of a stove for the door, and it is from Milwaukee, so we got Milwaukee iron on Milwaukee bike.
68 Camaro. I bought it in 1974. But like by about $850. I bought it used from Stevens Point. So we go to a lot of car shows with it. 327 with a 4-speed.
It's been the most reliable car I've ever had. You know, I would drive it to Florida right now with $100 in gas and a quart of oil. My brother, he backed the boat into it when I was maybe not even, I wouldn't even say I was 18 years old. And he accidentally backed the boat into the car, and I got a whole fiberglass rear end. Imported it from Japan, like I'd already said. You know, I think I paid more to ship it than it cost, but even the body kit, it's, you know, that polyurethane, you can bump it into the wall without too much of a hard feeling, you know, scrape it off on the ground.
The car's a 1927 Buick Master 6. It's a two-door. They didn't generally make a two-door in 26 in a Master, or 27, excuse me. We got the car in 2012 from a gentleman that didn't even know how to start it. We don't know how he ended up with it. And it originally came out of Ogden, Utah. Spent 30 some odd years in a showroom.
It's got twisted wedge heads. It's got roller rockers. We estimate that it's around 425 horsepower. We cut down a Chevy transmission. It's a 3-speed transmission, and we have reverse. This is first and reverse. This is second and third. And if you're going to do a burnout, just go right to second.
They stopped building these through the war, and so you don't find much. 42, 43, 44, right. 45 they start coming back again. But this frame was used for a lot of different, I've got a picture of one that was actually a bus, and I think it's 8 doors going across it, and basically the same vehicle, you know. Packard was a very popular company at that time and made very quality equipment.
Still can't be too many of these made if there is production numbers.
Yeah. We just haven't gotten through it. I think at the time they were kind of popular, but they were very expensive for that time because Packard was kind of the top of the line, which kind of goes along with hearses, you know. And back in those days, they used them as ambulances also. It wasn't. Kind of surprises people to find out that it wasn't until like the 60s when ambulances started to come in because these small towns couldn't afford to have both.